Now I'm going to show you the parcels. So I'm going to go and I have a closed polyline. Parcels have to be closed polylines. And once I do the parcel, I'll show you curves also. So I'm going to create a parcel out of this object here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this text. All right. So I'm going to come to the Home tab and I'm going to go Parcel. And I'm going to create a parcel from the object. So I'm just going to click on the object and I'm going to hit enter. Notice what it says down here. Convert or select lines, arcs, polylines, and convert into a parcel. So I'm just going to hit enter and say yes. So it is going to, it's going to erase the existing entity. So it's going to erase the line I created underneath of it. And it's automatically going to label. And there's styles that it's labeling. So I'm just going to leave that as default and click OK. All right. Now, on this, you can see my parcel is labeled. I'm going to undo that. Give me 1 second. Parcel, create. It should have labeled them unless I've got something turned off. Oh, should have clicked automatically add labels, duh. And I'm going to erase the existing line that's underneath of it. So I'm going to use bearing over distance, and I'm going to leave that as default. We have the option to use bearings and distances. The only difference between these is styles. That's all that is. So I'm going to click up here, bearing over distance, and go OK. So it automatically labels everything. And again, you can grab it, pull it out, drag this up, however, set it back, however you need to. Okay, the layers, be aware of what layers it's putting on. It's putting the information on C prop line. Also, be aware when you, I just clicked on it and right clicked, edit label style. Check out where your labels are being sent to. This one's going to layer 0. I do not recommend that. I do recommend creating a new layer because sometimes when layer 0 gets frozen off, everything goes kind of wonky, just FYI. And I'm going to say bearing bearing distance, can't spell distance, text, TXT. Okay, I am going to change that to red. Okay, 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 apply, and okay, and okay. And now it changes that. Also note that it says C prop line ID, and it says that it looks pink, but it's blue here. So I'm going to right click, and on the properties here, that is a tag. You can change that name to lot 1. You can change the style to name and perimeter. You can change the style to name, square foot, and acreage. That's used a lot. All right, so on this, it says by layer, so segment. I'm not really sure why it's coming out blue. So I'm gonna let that go for right now. As long as it prints okay, I don't care what color it is. Sometimes I get kind of stuck going down the rabbit hole. Now, you ask yourself, why would you create parcels? 2 reasons. When we create a parcel, we can actually do a closure report, which is required by the counties and cities on plats. So a closure report means how close does this legal description that we create close. So to do a closure report, go to your sites, click on sites, click on parcels. I created 1 parcel. Right click and go properties. Underneath analysis, there's a closure report. And then it says, where is the point of beginning? So if I was creating a legal description, I click on that point of beginning and I snap to this. Take a look. You can barely see it. There's a little green object that shows that's the point of the beginning. So if you look at this, I am going to highlight this and go Control Copy, and I am going to open up, you can't see it, but I'm opening up a Word document, and I'm going to paste it into the Word document. Let me scooch this over. So there's my Word document. Right click and paste. What I want to show you, I'm going to go ahead and go OK. What I want to show you is, if you're looking at this, that first direction is north 8 degrees, 13 minutes, and north 8 degrees, 13 minutes, and 4 seconds west. Now, that matches this. It's going the opposite direction. And then if you look at the next one, the next line, it also gives you the northing and easting. So if you looked at this point right here, the northing and easting, it gives you the northing and easting here. So you can see that they're the same. This is reading it clockwise. This is reading the line work clockwise. So it says that here's the bearing and the length of 328 feet. So you can see there is the distance. And now you know that this is actually, I'm going to reverse that label, is going northeast. So when I bring my, hold on, I got to get my Word document. So now it's going northeast, 570205, and it's 107.08. And it is ending at this, starting at this bearing. So if I look at that here, that's the 158. Sorry about going back and forth. 158. I guess it's this one up here. There it is. Sorry. 152.4088.64. Okay. Now, the important part of it also is the total perimeter and the acreage that you're using. So let me go back to this. I'm not, actually, you know what? I'm going to close this. I'm going to do it again because I want you to upload this as part of the assignment. So I'm going to right click, go Properties. This time I'm going to process the segment counterclockwise. All right. And I am going to, I'm going to start here at this point. There's a little green symbol that pops up when it's showing where to start the point at. So now you can see that it's north 1752.47. So what I'm going to do is I am going to highlight all this. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy it. And I am going to open up the Word document. And I am going to take a blank and I'm going to Control Paste, Control V. Okay. File, Save As, Browse, and I'm just going to say Desktop. And I'm going to call it Lab 3 Closure Report 1. Okay, save. I'm going to close that. I'm also going to do a map analysis. Okay, when I do the map analysis, it gives me a precision. So what that means, if you're looking at just the bearings and distances and you try to close it, it doesn't close completely because of the rounding in your seconds and all your decimal places. So it also shows you the precision. So I'm going to highlight that, Control Copy. So I'm going to create, oops, wrong one. I'm going to open up a Word document blank, and you do have to give the map analysis to the county so they know, or the city, whatever agency is reviewing the plat. So now I'm going to go File, Save As, Browse, and I'm just going to go back to the desktop for myself, and I'm going to call it this one's actually the closure report, Map Analysis Report 2. Okay, so it's the map analysis that you have to turn into the county to let them know how accurate. So I want you to upload both of those documents when you do this assignment, and I am going to, we'll take a look at other information. This is just the style that we've selected. Remember, I said it's square footage. The analysis and the user properties you don't have to worry about. And then I'm just going to go okay. Now, the other thing that I want to show you, and I don't know how well this is going to work. The other thing that you can do in your toolbox is, if you don't have toolbox, let's say your toolbox is missing. Let's say that's accidentally, your tool space is there. If you don't have the toolbox here, you can get your toolbox based on your little palette. See the little, see the little toolbox symbol? Now I don't have that tab. There's my little toolbox symbol, and I got it back. So I'm going to generate reports. Underneath Parcels, there is a general legal description for parcels. Click on that, right click, and execute. Now I'm going to uncheck everything. This button right here unchecks everything. And what I am going to check, I'm going to collapse that. It's the site that I want to look at, and it's the lot 1. Go, okay, I'll do this another time. And what pops up in another screen is this. And unfortunately, it has not worked all that well before. So what I want you to do is highlight it. So I'm actually picking this over here because I can't. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to say save and print. Okay, it didn't work in 2018, and it still doesn't work, and I can't get it to collapse. So what I normally do is highlight to here, which underneath here actually says point of beginning. So I'm going to go Control Copy, and I'm going back to open up a Word document. I should just leave these open, and I'm going to go and right-click and paste text. So this actually says point of beginning. So if I was writing a legal description, notice it says fence south 40. Remember where we started from before. I said we started here from our map check analysis. So you can see that it's south 40, 1 minute and 20.9 seconds. See the rounding? Now, there is a way to make this write it correctly. So it says you're traveling southwest for a distance of, and again, I'll show this later, not right now, but you would clean this up. You would actually end up being 1, and you would only use 2 decimal places. So you would round that to 4, that sort of thing. To a point on a line, fence, north. So what I would have to do on this, I am going to try to do side by side. Side by side. Yeah, kind of, sort of. I am like I have a ton of stuff on my desktop. Okay. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make that a bit smaller, a bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to make this a bit smaller to try to show you everything. Okay. Move that over. Get that over. Okay. All right. So now it says south. So what I have to do is click on this and reverse the label, because here is my point of beginning, and then it's going north. So I have to reverse this label. Now I could click on, and this one's going the wrong direction. I can click on 2 of them and have them reverse labels. So it automatically does it for me. Okay. That's actually a nice feature. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this text, and I'm going to change that to 5. I'm going to get rid of that, And I'm going to change that to 8. And I'm going to change that to 8. Okay. So you can say point of beginning, and point of beginning is bench mark southwest, fence, and then fence. Fence is just a word that they use to describe a direction, or it's a very popular phrase. I will get you also some basic terminology and language for legal descriptions, and then I'm going to hit 1. So basically, wherever you start, I'm going counterclockwise and stopping. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight that, go Control Copy. I'm going to come over here, annotate. I'm going to use multi-line text. I'm going to pick a point, and I'm going to go Control Paste. All right. Now I don't like uppercase, lowercase, so I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go to uppercase. Okay. Click on that, and I'm going to scooch this to small. Undo, 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 undo. Undo one more time. Okay. All right. So that is the legal description. So that is actually kind of tiny. So with the text, there's 2 different ways to do it. Sometimes you have to highlight the entire text and change it here. Let's say to, remember what I said is, let's say it's 1.3. And it won't let me change it, okay? If I come over here, I can change to 1.3 and see how that looks. All right. All right. So I'm going to go to the topo plan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a viewport. Right now, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to make that current. So I'm going to make that big again. I'm going to make that current. So I'm going to type in mview, create a viewport, double click inside of it, and I'm going to go dview, enter, twist. Okay, so it is 0. So let me get out of there. I need to zoom in on this piece of text. So I'm going to type in, the other thing that I could do, and actually it'd probably be better. You know what, it would be better if I did it this way. I'm going to delete that. I'm actually going to take this piece of text, double click, highlight everything, Control Copy, and I'm going to create a view, a piece of text on the outside. Annotate, multi-line, and create up here, and Control Paste. All right. Now it's 0.2. I'm going to change that to 0.15. And I am going to this isn't a proper legal description, but at least it gets you started on what one looks like. So I'm going to say legal description. For those of you that actually work in an office, grab a legal description. Caps. My insert button is overwriting. I'm going to hit enter. Point of beginning. I have insert on instead of the ability, and I can't seem to find it on my keyboard. Oh, there it is. Okay, BE key. Okay, bench mark. southwest. All right, legal. I am going to highlight that, and I'm going to change that no, I can't. Usually you can change heights here, 0.2. There we go. And I can underline it so it has a proper look, okay? And legal description, lot 1. At least we get started on what's required with a topo and boundary. All right. Also on here, you might give yourself a project name. If you double click on the block, some people might have information set up. You can say project name, highlight here. This is actually Valencia College. Wish I had one for FAU. If y'all at FAU have taken a survey course and you have some topo points that you'd like to share, please let me know. This is on Kirkman Road. It's actually South Kirkman. I don't remember the actual street number, and it is in, or I can't type, Orlando, Florida. Can't type that either. We'll just go with FL. That's how my day's rolling. On this one, you could, I'm not going to have anything, so I'm just going to take that completely out and delete. It'll have a blank space. Project name again is, we're going to do Valencia Topographic Survey and Boundary. So the scale is that, and I'll leave the date as that. Apply and OK. And it fills out a lot of the information. Okay, that is, we're going to change the project to a number. So double click on it again. So my favorite number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay. And then there's only, I'm going to double click on the sheet. There's only going to be sheet 1 of 1. I may end up having to make that smaller because that's really large. So let's just do 1. That's really large. Okay, so up here, we would also, I'm a big fan of copying. I don't want it on the viewport. We need to put it to its proper layer, so I'm going to put it to text. And I'm going to move it down here. We'll need the other thing that we'll need to create is a legend, okay? So I'm going to copy this and put it up here. And I am going to change that and go Valencia College Topographic and Boundary Survey. Everybody has a little bit different way they might want to write that. I'm going to change that height to 0.25. I'm going to also change it to top center, because the other thing that I want to do is I want to put the section, township, and range. Now, I want to show you, I'll show it to you in class also, but let me move this over and I'll show you the section, how to find the section, township, and range also. Give me 1 minute. I found this the other day. How many people have used ArcGIS? I've got a link to the PLS section, township, and range map viewer. It's in ArcGIS, and I'll actually create a link to this. So it's all of the United States that is on section, townships, and ranges. So we're down here. I'm going to show you a few things. We're down here in Orange County, here in Orlando. I have to get myself oriented. Actually, I can actually type in the address. So I think it is 1800 South Kirkman Road, Orlando, Florida, and zoom. Okay, so this is our site. This is our project area. So if I zoom out, I can see my project area is in section 36. So let me move this over a bit. It's in section 36, township 22 south, range 28 east. Okay, so I'm going to have a short-term memory problem, so I'm going to write that down. So I'm in section, it helps to get a pen that actually works. Give me 1 second. So section 36, township 22 south, range 28 east. Now, everybody remember what that means. What that means is if I zoom up here and I go Tallahassee, Florida, click on Tallahassee, Florida, and I zoom in, notice it's 1 north, 1 west, 1 north, 1 east, 1 south, 1 east, 1 south, 1 west, because that's where the meridian is on the Public Land Surveyor's section maps. Anyway, whole point is usually we have to include the section, and I'm going to undo the underline. Section 36, township 22 south, range 28 east. Highlight that, and I'm going to take the underline off. Okay, so that's my start. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go ahead and pause here because I didn't realize I talked for a half hour. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and we will take a look at looking at parcels with curves.